Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival. There is the latest single from John-Corabi. It's called Cosi Bella. And with us today, Jerry is one of our favorite guests on the show. We want to welcome back John-Corabi to Rock and Metal Revival.
How you guys doing?
John, it's always a pleasure having you back on the show. It's been a while since we talked. A long time has passed. Last time we had you on the show talking Dead Daisies' new album, and now you're no longer with them. You got a new single and a new album on the way, a new autobiography. It seems like the pandemic downtime kind of gave you a lot of time to get stuff in motion.
Well, and I actually, it's funny. The COVID thing really made me rethink a lot of things about my career. Obviously, I sat there and I looked at everything and I was like, wow, like a huge percentage of my income comes from touring, which obviously in the last 18 months, I think I've done about 6 gigs. So I put myself through Pro Tools classes, learned how to record myself. I'm still a little bit of a caveman with it, but I learned how to do it anyway in the basic form, and sat down, wrote an autobiography with a gentleman named Paul Miles, and that's finished. It's coming out early next year. I think it's April 12th, to be honest with you.
Nice.
It's called Horseshoes and Hand Grenades, and I actually sat down and learned how to stay in the lines when I'm coloring in my coloring book.
Nice. That takes a while.
Yeah, it does. And I actually realized that there are other colors in the box besides black.
Yeah. That gets complicated then. So, John, there's some cool instrumentation on this new single, Cosy Bella. Who all played on this one?
Well, to be honest with you, as I said earlier, I did I took the Pro Tools classes. So, initially this song was something that I had given to the Dead Daisies when we were doing the Burn It Down record. And in their defense, it was literally just me with an acoustic guitar and Marty and I scatting a quick little vocal. And, again, in their defense, they heard it, probably didn't get it in that kind of form.
Yeah.
So I put it away for a little while, and then 2020, I started actually recording with Marty at his studio, and then COVID hit. So I took the classes, and then I sat down and I just started working with that tune, and I basically did a drum track on like a MIDI drum machine kind of a deal.
Oh, okay.
I laid all the guitars down. I did a bass track. I did the vocals. Then I had a couple buddies get together with me, and we did the backing vocals at my house. And then I sent it to Marty, and at that point, he put real drums on it. His son, Evan, played the drums. And then Marty redid the bass because he wanted a little bit more of a McCartney-esque feel to it. And then, he's obviously got better, what they call them plug-ins, sounds and stuff like that for piano. And so he took my piano part, ran it through a better sound, whatever. But the whole thing, most of it, probably 60, 70% of it, I recorded in my bedroom on a laptop.
Awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Now, hey, John, with your upcoming album, after hearing Cosi Bella, what can fans expect? Are we going to get you back the hard rocking side of John-Corabi, or more the singer-songwriter?
It's a little bit of everything, man. Like I got a song now that I'm working on with Marty. I want to get my son on the drums on the track, but I've got some. When I say heavy, I'm talking like Zeppelin-esque heavy, like
cool.
Misty Mountain Hop or whatever.
Nice.
I've got a few things, but honestly, I love the freedom now of not having, I don't know if this makes any sense or not, but not having the confines or the parameters of a band.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, like the Daisies heard Cosi Bella and they were like, well, you know, I get what you're trying to do with it, but that's not really in our wheelhouse. And, you know, and then, you know, it's just that thing, like being in a band like the Scream or Motley or Union or even the Daisies, you know, you're kind of locked into the confines of that band. So you got to write for that band. And now it's just, without being weird, I'm kind of all over the place. Like I've got some very cool Americana storytellers thing. Cosy Bella is kind of like a British pop thing, but I do have some heavier stuff. I've got some bluesy stuff, like kind of almost like a blues meets Motown stuff. I'm all over the place, and I like the freedom of being able to, you know, just write a song and go, wow, I really like this, and put it out. And hopefully my honesty or my excitement about the song will wear off on the fans.
Nice. Now, there's some really nice classic guitar tones on this single you put out. Now, did you use modeling amps, or did you use real amps and tube amps and mic and all that, or...
Yeah, you know, doing a guitar solo at 1 o'clock in the morning in my bedroom while my wife is sleeping in the next room. But you know, it's funny, man. Like it's still to this day. Like I'll listen to the song. I love the song, but it's funny. Like I listen to it, and I'm so proud of like the guitar solo. Like this is like my real first recorded attempt at doing the solos.
Ah, nice.
So I kind of I sat down and I did I was playing around with these plugins and you know, I tried some different tones for the main solo, which I was really pleased with, and then it took me forever to figure out the harmonies, and you know, I'm not like a schooled musician. You know, but there's one little solo after the first chorus into the second verse, and I found this sound on this plugin that I use, and it was called One May.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
sounded like a queen. It did.
Yeah, and as soon as I plugged it in and ran the guitar through that plugin, I'm like, oh my God, this is Brian May. This is killer.
Exactly.
So I just ran it just for that little part there. I just ran it through there. I didn't want to overdo it and have everybody, you know, because I'm sure somebody would have given me grief for doing the entire solo with Brian May's tone. But I just had some fun with it, man, and just experimented on these tones on the thing. And it just amazes me the sounds you can get with these things.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Now, John, you've had a very, very interesting music career. What made you finally decide to sit down and write a book?
You know, I'll be honest with you. I had started writing a book, about probably 15 years ago. My manager, I went through a divorce or some crazy thing, and my manager at the time was laughing at me, you know, and he goes, Crab, I don't know how you do it, buddy, but you should write a book. So I took a stab at it, but then it was weird. I started seeing like Aerosmith's book, and then Joe Perry's book, and then Steven Tyler's book, and then the book on, you know, Nirvana and Marilyn Manson and all these guys. And then it kind of trickled down to like, I went to a KISS convention and saw that all the crew guys from the 70s for KISS did a book on, you know, well, Gene Simmons, like peanut butter and bacon sandwiches backstage. And like, oh my God. Like, so I kind of, you know, I was like, oh man, you know, if I do a book, it's going to seem like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. But in 2019, I went to Australia, and I was hanging out with Paul Miles, the guy that co-wrote the book with me. And Paul is like an authority on Motley Crue. And he's got a website called Chronological Crew, and he's written a few books. And we were just sitting around telling stories, and he goes, crap, you should do a book. And I'm like, nope, not going to do it. Everybody's doing it now, and if I do a book, it's just going to seem like I'm jumping on the bandwagon. But the more he talked to me about it, he kind of said, you know what, though, dude? Like, the Dirt, you've got some chapters in the Dirt. You're in the movie. And he goes, but you're still you're like this mystery to a lot of people. Like, nobody really knows a lot about you. Let's do it. And so I caved, and we did it. And, it came out great. It's called, like I said, Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. And, I'm still kind of worried. I just did the audiobook last week in LA, and I was talking to the publishing company, and I'm like, man, I don't have that typical VH1 behind the scenes story. And I go, it's not like I was out like doing drugs and ODing and, hookers and strippers, and I've never been that guy. But he sat down and he talked to me. He goes, yeah, but your story is really interesting in its own right. So we'll see. You know what I mean? I did the book. It's done. It's coming out April 12th. And, who knows?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I might read it. I mean, usually I wait for the movie. But, for this one, I might read it. I'll probably read it, yeah. It's got a lot of words, a lot of sentences and stuff.
And if you don't want to read it, I did an audiobook.
There you go.
So
I can listen to that.
It's all good.
Nice. Now, you got a few shows coming up. Now, are those going to be acoustic shows? Because we saw you do an acoustic show, and that was just fabulous. Now, are they going to be full band rocking?
Well, for now, I'm just going to try and finish the year out. I want to get back out again with my band, but I really want to try and get 2 or 3 new songs out, and let the audience live with them for a little bit, and then put a kick-ass show together, and then get back out with my full band and just kind of run the gamut of everything. The Scream, Motley, Union,
nice.
Maybe even some Daisy stuff, and then 3 or 4 or 5 new songs. Nice. But so I think I'm just going to finish the rest of this year. It's been weird with COVID, and then the reintroduction of the Delta variant. I'm still on the edge of my seat with the shows, even that I do have, because I was supposed to go to Mexico like a month ago, and 5 of the 7 cities I was supposed to play in went into lockdown again. So I don't really see the point of assembling like the band, and you know what I mean? Let's wait till 2022 when everything's up and running, and then get back out and do it right.
So now, when you do go out with the band, now is your son playing in your band full time now? Is he going to be on your touring with your touring band?
I would love that. I would love to have the band that I've had forever, which is my son on drums. I have a bass player named Topher Nolan that I've had since 2010. And then I'd love to use Phil Schaus and Jeremy Osbrock, but that's the other thing. Right now, they're out on tour with Alice Cooper and Ace Frehley. They're playing with Ace. So as soon as they get home, I'll sit down and look at everybody's schedule. I know my kid will be involved, and Topher. But I have to see who's going to play guitars and all that other stuff. So
cool. Now, really dug the Union stuff. Any plans to do anything with that Bruce Kulick guy? He's a pretty good guitar player,
Yeah, he's all right. No, you know what's funny? Bruce and I and Brent and Jamie, we've all talked in the past about possibly doing some shows. The problem of it is I've been busier than hell lately. Bruce is obviously doing his Grand Funk Railroad thing. Brent's doing stuff with Took and Slash's The Conspirators. And Jamie's been out doing some stuff with Roger Daltrey. for the last couple of years. So it's really just about, hey, we've all four of us, all at the same time, we've got 2 months off. Let's try and rehearse up a cool set and go out and do some shows if we can. So it's been a scheduling thing, but we've all talked about it. There's a record label now that's getting ready to re-release all the Union stuff on vinyl.
Sweet.
Pretty soon. So, you never know. I mean, we never really split up, like I said. It was just, we just, at the time, it's weird. We were doing really good business as far as people coming to see us, but it wasn't translating into record sales, which back then, that's where you made your money. So we all took other gigs to pay the electric bill or alimony, depending on which member you talk to. You know what I mean? And it's just, but we're all still great friends, and you never know. I'd love to go out and do, a few weeks or a month of Union shows. We'll see.
That would be awesome. John, speaking of vinyl, I saw the other day on Facebook, probably one of my favorite albums all time, The Scream, coming out on vinyl. Did you ever think you'd see that coming back out on vinyl?
It's funny. The guy that's doing it's a company called Lindsley Records, and he talked to me about re-releasing some of my stuff, Union or The Scream. And I said, well, to be honest with you, on both things, you're going to have to get permission from the label, which he did. And the first record, he released The Scream about, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months ago, 6 months ago. And I forget how many copies he did, but I was like crazy. They literally sold out in like 6 hours.
Nice.
The reason why they're doing it again, and it's so weird. I think he did maybe 500 copies, and it was like maybe 6 or 7 people said side 2 was skipping. Now the rest of them were fine. It was just like maybe 6 records. And so he felt bad about it. He offered them, he said, listen, I'm going to redo this record. Do you want your money back, or we can, when we redo the record, I'll send you another copy. And they said, no, we'll wait. So he went to the place that printed up the vinyl, and apparently it had something to do with the amount of information that was going on to the vinyl. So what they did now is they did a 30th anniversary double. So there's three songs aside. There's all these extra pictures in there, all this, cool stuff in it that wasn't on the first one. And he re-released it, and, so far so good. I don't really have much to do with it. He'll call me up and go, all right, we've got, this amount. They want them signed. So I'll go over to his house and I'll just sign a bunch of them, and then they mail them out. But they handle everything on their own. But I'm just excited that it's out and it's at a reasonable price, because people were writing to me and they were saying, dude, I bought your record, the Scream album, on eBay, and it cost me like $250 or $500 or whatever. It was crazy money. So I've been fighting with the label for years to put it on iTunes or whatever. And they just, for whatever the reason is, they won't do it.
Yeah.
So they'll just do these little runs with little different labels, and they'll say, okay, you can do 500. And it's like, okay, great, whatever. But I'm just excited it's out.
Very cool. It's cool. Now, you think the song Cosi Bella, after listening to it and with all the instrumentation and cool stuff, you think it's maybe lacking just one thing? Maybe some cowbell?
Now I highly suggested that, but Marty said that we should wait for you guys. But unfortunately, your schedule wasn't permitting. So basically what we did is we left it open, so when you guys play it, you can play the cowbell, along with the track.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, because you did it at a nice tempo, so I think I can do that. Yeah. Cool.
It's cowbell friendly.
Yeah, very.
Well, I know the last time we talked to you, John, you said if you did another album that we could play Cowbell on it. We've been practicing.
Yeah, man, every day, 6
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Blisters like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
That carpal tunnel's a bitch.
Our family hates us, man. We just walk around with cowbells constantly. Yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, well, you know what? If you guys help me sell the record, I'll help you pay for your divorces.
There you go.
All right. Well, John, it's always a pleasure having you on. We look forward to having you back on when the full album comes out, the book. But, we always let the artists pick a song from their catalog out of these interviews. So what would you like us to play?
I would love for you guys to play. You know what? Let's go deep. If you have it, let's play Tell Me Why by The Scream.
Yes, we do have it. So, John, we appreciate you coming on here. You're always welcome on Rock and Metal Revival, and we wish you nothing but success.
Thank you, guys.